rolling into fast food stalls into feudal and modern Japan, and from there to restaurants all over the world. Where did the sushi came from? We are going to find out on this 4-part series of the history of the sushi. So do not forget to subscribe this channel and comment to this special one. We are starting right now. On the previous chapter of this chronicle, we have seen the development of the street food in old city of Edo after the big fire and before it became Tokyo in 1869.
Tokyo is rebuilding, using timber wisely conserved by forest planning.
From 1945 to 1952, Japan was under American occupation, and despite considerable food aid from the United States, Japanese citizens suffered from severe famine.
Fish forms a large part of the Japanese diet, and by diet we don't mean the government. Probably some eels there too, though.
Along with importing millions of tons of wheat, Americans have also tried to use modern nutritional sciences to take care of protein supply and what is perceived as a proper diet. American food policy had a revolutionary impact on Japanese cuisine in many different areas. The main contribution of the American occupation to the world of sushi was the insight that other toppings besides fish could be incorporated into it. During the occupation, fish and rice were rationed. Customers used to bring the rice from the ration and the chefs cooked sushi with it for the customer. Those who ran out of their fish allowance brought additions to the best imagination. For example, mushrooms and eggs, which were not subject to rationing and were therefore more available unknowingly. The Americans also helped turn the sushi from fast food to high-end fine cuisine. Occupation authorities banned street stalls for health and hygiene reasons. As a result, sushi restaurants have moved into buildings. The architecture of the modern sushi bar, with the cook standing and cooking in the middle, is actually a hybrid between the old street stall and the modern restaurant. In any case, the move to tidy restaurants has given chefs an incentive to develop more upscale and refined sushi that will suit the tastes of connoisseurs. In the 1960s, Japan experienced the famous economic miracle, and society became richer than ever before. The price of sushi has also risen, and it has become a luxury dish that is only eaten on special occasions. The fast food of yesteryear has become a coveted delicacy. Another upheaval occurred in the 1990s, when a relatively old invention, sushi in a conveyor belt, suddenly became incredibly popular, returning the beloved rollers to their old status as cheap and available food. In 1958, sushi chef Shirashi Yoshikai felt he could not stand the pressure of customers at his restaurant. While visiting a brewery, he saw the bottles moving in a conveyor belt. and hence came up with an idea. Restaurants where the customer sits, sees rollers spinning in a conveyor belt and takes his favorite sushi. Gained popularity as early as the 1970s but became a hit after the bubble burst and during the long Japanese recession of the 1990s. The period of abundance of previous years, characterized by ostentation and waste, suddenly came to an end. People were looking for cheap restaurants of a new kind, and conveyor belt sushi filled the demand. As a result, the space of sushi has become much more popular. Finally, it is worth saying something about the connection between sushi and masculinity. Sushi is considered until the very last decades a masculine dish. First of all, it was customary for only men to make sushi. There was an element here that was taken from the traditional Japanese religions. In modern times, the traditional taboo has been covered with new superstitions, such as the statement that woman's hand is too hot and spoils the roll. However, only in recent years, the proportion of women working as sushi cooks increased significantly. In general, the traditional sushi bars, especially the neighborhood ones, were considered very masculine places, where rough neighbors enjoyed sushi and alcohol together. Traditional society expected a woman not to communicate with the macho chef directly, so many women used to keep away from such places. And finally, a few words about the ideal sushi. In the 19th century, one of the first ambassadors of the Chinese Empire to Japan said about sushi that it melts in your mouth like ice, and the taste is wonderful. The ambassador's words actually express qualities of a sushi worthy of the name. And that is the reason I remind you again to subscribe Foodie Eyes and get the best food history videos to your main screen. Thanks for watching, see you on the next.